Yeah, and it's all about the winning DNA, and it was great to be reminded of the greatness of Real Madrid last season, because you kind of forget that when the new tournament's coming up and Benzema is not there anymore. What a fantastic season he had. And Ancelotti was talking about it. I mean, they've done this for a generation. It's been built through generation to the next generation, this winning DNA. And if you saw the last 4 games or the last 4 rounds before they lifted that Champions League trophy, it was all about that will. It was all about the DNA. It was all about tradition. It was all about being legends and building legends. And sometimes we kind of use those legends word a bit too easy. But these players, they have built that up in a club that is king of kings. This Real Madrid dynasty of football players.
Yeah, incredible, Jules, from your PSG to that extraordinary ending to the Manchester City game.
They're just never beaten. They never give up. They're never beaten. If you don't kill them off, then they will always come back and kill you off themselves. And that's exactly what they did in all those rounds, really, in all those matches. And to just do it once against PSG is one thing, but then to show it again against Chelsea, and then being so strong against City in the semi-final and then against Liverpool in the final is incredible. And I think Karim Benzema on that Champions League edition and that Champions League campaign just showed. I mean, we've rarely seen an individual player bossing a competition like that, like he did. He was just on fire, unstoppable, unplayable for most of those knockout stages, and again, it was pretty unbelievable to see and to be there for some of us at some of those games, and to watch it live, how he was just above, literally floating above everybody else. And then when it matters the most, he would always be at the right place at the right time. It was just an incredible 4 months, really, of pure individual quality from him, and then the strength of that collective and Carlo Ancelotti behind him as well.
Kind of betwixt and between here, because you can never take that achievement away, and yeah, the winning mentality and the team bonding and all that, but let's be honest, the naivety, particularly of 2 teams, Paris Saint-Germain and Man City, to throw away the performances and the lead in the manner in which they did, particularly Man City, when even at 2-0, you know, they squandered probably 4 or 5 chances to win. Courtois made some great saves. They were clearing balls off the line. And then as soon as they made the substitutions, I think it was the Rodrigo goal, they capitulated. Okay. So there's a little bit of everything in there, which doesn't take away from the fact what they achieved. But my God, I mean, in another day, you'd think City beat them by 4 or 5 and PSG do the same.
Yeah.
Liverpool, you know, it was a final. Real Madrid were dominated, but Liverpool switched off at key moments. So it was, and that, I suppose, in some sense, that makes it all the more amazing. But the Man City game was the one at the Bernabeu that I just couldn't get my head around, because at one point I thought this is going to be 4-0.
Yep.
Before you know it, it's extra time. They've given a penalty away. Benzema scores, and from nowhere, City are losing, and they've got the big shotgun out again and are about to shoot themselves in the foot.
Yep. Both
feet, and they did.
To that point, and Jules was saying you've got to kill Real Madrid off. 2-0 up in injury time at this level of the game is killing somebody off. You know, but for me, and I get Craig's point about the role that PSG and City play in their own downfall, but I really just feel it's more about a Real Madrid team that was supposedly too old, with the likes of Luka Modric and Casemiro and Kroos through midfield, and Benzema was having a great season, but, you know, Carlo Ancelotti was under pressure early in the season, and even when they were down, even though they were all but dead, I just feel that Real Madrid continue to play the game with a sense of belief that I'm not sure how you explain that. And I think that, for me, I remember it more as Real Madrid refusing to be beat than PSG and City throwing it away.
Do you remember, and those 2 teams I mentioned, the common denominator between them is what? None of them have won the Champions League, PSG and City. And I think was maybe seen part of the reasons, not all of the reasons, that they buckled when the time was needed. You remember after the performance from Real Madrid in Paris, how basically the reputations of everybody, including Ancelotti, was dragged through the streets of Madrid. It was dragged through all the media forums. They were a disgrace. They were a disgrace to the shirt. They shouldn't be playing for the club again. I mean, it was ridiculous because it was a one-off sort of game and they shoved that back down the throats in the return leg. But that's how bad it was after that game in Paris.
Just a reminder, what am I doing here? La Liga. It's on ESPN. That's a nice professional season away. La Liga.
I'll go. Whenever you're stuck, I'll just go, ho, ho, ho. And buy us
La Liga returns this week on Thursday. It's Athletic against Elche. Friday, the big game is Valladolid against Real Madrid. And then on New Year's Eve, it starts with Barca against Espanyol. All of those games live on ESPN+. Away from Messi, away from Real Madrid, of course, big talking points really across the world of football over the last 365 days. City's comeback, of course, the title day, go right down to the wire. Liverpool were in the hunt for the quadruple. England women's won the Euros. Senegal win the African Cup of Nations. Erling Haaland made that transfer to City. Mbappe stayed at PSG. We thought, of course, he was going to Real Madrid. Lewandowski left Bayern to go to Barcelona. Roman Abramovich was forced to sell Chelsea. And that interview between Cristiano Ronaldo and Piers Morgan. What stands out for you, Shane?
Well, it's got to be Argentina winning the World Cup. I thought that was easily the highlight of the year.
We've done that already, Shane.
So what else are you to talk about?
Well, I've given you some options.
You asked me what stood out for me. I told you what stood out for me.
I thought you would be able to go, oh, well, we've already talked about the World Cup. Let me choose something else.
No, I don't want to talk about anything else.
It's Christmas and it's your choice. Ignore them.
Ho, ho, ho.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Right. Yes, Craig? Ho, ho, ho. Oh, my goodness gracious. Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.